Radical Dude here, and today I'm going to show you how we get the law of cosines. This was one of the laws I used to really be against, but now that I've gotten older, I've grown to accept and obey this law. The law of cosines. First of all, it starts with looking at this basic one. Everybody should know this. If I have this as A, B, and C, then we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. This is one of the most famous laws. This is the Pythagorean Theorem. Okay, everybody knows this. But this only works for right triangles. What happens if our triangle is not right? Right? What happens if it's a wrong triangle? We'll call this A, B, and C. Now this is different. So it's no longer right, so we have to do something different also. What we can do is drop an altitude, right? Between a point and a line, you can always make an altitude. Now, what we'll do is we'll call this h for height. Okay, so right here, since this is 90, this is 90, I can use the Pythagorean theorem for part of this. All I have to do is take this base, let me move this base down. Look at that, the sport is really smart. I just move the base down. And let's get two letters for this. Well, if I call this S, then this one is B minus X. Because the whole base, take away this, gives me this piece over here. So what we can do now is I can use the Pythagorean theorem on the left, and then I can use the Pythagorean theorem on the right. I have h squared plus x squared equals c squared. And for the right triangle over here, I have h squared plus b minus x squared equals a squared. So I have h squared plus b minus x squared equals a squared. Now, I see they both have an h squared in it. So let me solve for one of the h squares by taking away this x squared, right? Just take away that x squared. And now I have h squared is c squared minus x squared, right? So I can replace this and put it right there, right? You're taking this and replacing it, right? Like a substitute. Instead of Mr. H is not going to be in class today, you're having Mr. C squared minus x squared taking his place. Goes right there. So what do I have? I have c squared minus x squared plus b minus x squared equals a squared. Now, this, you must know how to expand this binomial, right? We're having a picnic. You have to bring some prior knowledge to the picnic. That's where this b minus x. So I have c squared minus x squared plus. Now, expand this out. You get b squared minus 2bx plus x squared equals a squared. And this negative x squared cancels with this positive x squared. So I'm left with c squared plus b squared minus 2bx equals a squared. Now, I got my ABCs going very nicely, but that x is bothering me. So let's see if we can figure out what the x is. Well, looking at this picture right here, I can see that I need this angle. Well, what I'm going to call this angle, the vertex is opposite the side. So if this is little a, this is big A. And I can see that these two together are related by cosine. So cosine of A equals x over c. And that means by cross multiplying that x equals c cosine A. So let's remember that. X is c cosine A. So I come over here, and x is c cosine A. So let me rewrite this again. So I have c squared plus b squared minus, and what did I put? 2bx, but instead of, it's going to be 2b, and then we're going to put c cosine A equals a squared. Now, to get it in its final form, I move the a squared to the left. I put these in alphabetical order. This is already alphabetical. And there it is. That's the law of cosine. And using the same logic, the same reasoning, you can find the other relationships between the other sides. If I wanted b squared by itself or c squared by itself, you don't solve this to find the c squared. You go back and do the same proof, and what you're going to get is that the opposite, the side A, is going to be the cosine of that angle. So opposite this b squared is going to be cosine of b, and opposite the c squared is going to be cosine of c. And then what happens here is the remaining letters. So if you already use b squared, you're left with a squared plus c squared. And if you already use c squared, you're left with a squared plus b squared. Then they all have a minus 2. And then whatever letters you have, AC goes AC. AB, you put AB. That is the law of cosines. Okay? And then you let your teacher show you how you use it. So, thank you very much. This has been Radical Dude. And again, law of cosines is a law not to be broken. Thank you.